25 minutes before 11 o'clock. Beautiful day, huh? Just nice looking day, you know. You know, some of these bad news stories, I mean, we just kind of, it's just one of those weeks. It's just a lot of bad news out there, and you look outside, you say, you know, I just want to get out there and do something. And listening to Jim talk about golf, makes you want to just go out and do something, whether it's golf or something else. And then when you go inside at the 19th hole, you want it to be air conditioned. You want the air. We've got the technology. We have. I guess you could say we've evolved in technology wise to literally be able to control the environment. I guess that's why climate control calls themselves climate control. They literally do control the climate within your home and within your business. Climate control mechanical services sponsors this half hour, and in fact it's hosted by them, and we have in the studio Brandon Wood. He's going to talk about a few things that are going to save you money, and I know that some of the things we had in our email are changed, so I don't even want to start. I'll let him take it from here, but let me just turn on his mic and say good morning, Brandon. How you doing? Good to see you again. Yeah. This is, not to bring the news into your show, but it's just heartbreaking seeing some of these things, and
yeah, it is.
It's almost like, what do you do? You know?
The Boston Marathon, and unfortunately, it doesn't seem to hit home with people until it actually happens close to home. You know, so I kind of felt that way. I remember when 9/11, I was about 18 years old, and it didn't really sink in how big of a tragedy it was until a few days went by, and you realize the enormity of the situation.
Right. Which has nothing to do with air conditioning, but you know, maybe it does in a way, because, and I know it's probably a stretch, but you know, we pride ourselves on doing the best we can for everybody else. I mean, your job is to make sure we're comfortable. You know, our job is to make sure people know about great things that they can do in our community, or great services like what you guys do, and to have somebody kind of throw a wrench into the spokes like that is just, oh man, that's why we have laws, huh?
Yeah.
I'm taking away from your time. It's just been bothering.
All right.
But anyway, so we can save money. Now, rebates is part of this, but you said it's a very small part because it varies from system to system.
It does. A lot of, as far as the initial cost of a new system, a lot of different, both the federal government and the manufacturers themselves offer rebates on, say you get a really high SEER rated system, the more efficient the system is, the more money you may get back.
Uh-huh.
And then they actually have federal tax credits where the federal government wants to see you buy a really efficient system, so they'll give you tax credits. However, the rebates are very, very application specific. We would actually have to come out, size your system, depending on how big your system is, what kind you want to buy, what brand you want to buy, is depending on how much you would actually get back from both the government or the manufacturers themselves. But a simpler way to save money, other than that, not necessarily a simpler way, but another way.
Before you say that, can I just add a question there?
Sure.
What do you ever actually have customers buy a specific system because of that rebate? I can't imagine myself doing that. I would buy the system based on what you tell me about it, and if they happen to be a rebate, then good.
Most of the time, no.
Yeah.
But there are customers out there that are looking for the absolute bottom dollar price.
Okay.
So yes, I would say there are customers out there, but most of the time they go by what their needs are the most, because it is an important appliance in your home. It's very important, especially this time of year.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
So it's kind of like, it's in the gotta have it category. So it's a matter of what you can afford, for one thing. So if money is a very serious issue on there, then yes, I would say they would go by the rebates.
Okay, and I stopped you short only because I was trying to put my mind into the position of being ready to buy.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine that being the deciding factor. It would be more about the system itself.
Certainly one of them, but it's one of many deciding factors on which you should buy.
Uh-huh.
And again, that's why we do in-home quotes on systems. We never, if somebody calls in, we never say over the phone, "No, this is what it'll cost, this is what it'll take you." We actually go to your home, we give you a lot of different information on different systems, and most of all, we ask you what your specific needs are. You know, we've talked about UV light systems, and actually that's the subject I'm going to go into today as far as needs, is thermostat automation. It's thermostats.
Yeah.
Everybody is always known as their thermostats on the wall. That's where they control it from, and that's the end of it. Well, for many years now, big businesses and hospitals and institutions have used automation to where their climate in their hospital, say, is controlled from another location via internet through a computer system, as well as diagnostics on the system, and we can just go in and see a computer screen and do diagnostics on the system, and automation has been available to homeowners in the past, where they can actually get on the internet and see their thermostats. But in the past, it's been very, very expensive. It fell into that category of smart homes, where you would have to have a computer programmer come in and do the automation process, get real specific thermostats, and Honeywell, the brand that we mostly use in thermostats, has come out with some really cost-efficient thermostats where it's very simple to simply get an app on your phone, and you can control multiple thermostats. They're both residential and light commercial use.
Alright, so I imagine that this is mostly done while you're in the house. I can't imagine sitting here right now, unless will it tell me the temperature in my house?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, so let's say I'm looking at it and go, oh my goodness, my dog is burning up. It's 90 degrees in my house. I could lower it from here.
Exactly.
That would make sense. I could understand that.
Or raise it. A lot of people have summer. These are just simply their winter homes down here, and they live up north. We can put both in their thermostat down here, so when they go up north, they can look at their phone or any internet site access and see their temperatures.
Wow, that's
if
cool.
they have an outdoor sensor, they're able to see the outdoor temperature. They can change their run schedule, where it may run for 8 hours at this temperature, or during the day at this temperature, at night at this temperature. And it even goes as far as to, like, the safety switches we talked about last show for the water safety switches. On one particular thermostat, they actually have a set of dry contacts where I can essentially hook any switch to it, and it'll actually send an alarm to your phone. Like, say water switch does activate, and it'll set an alarm to your phone
Then you
saying,
panic.
well, you definitely call somebody.
Yeah.
And because I have seen water do some major damage, and that goes as far as I could put a switch, if you had an open close switch on a safe, say, in your home, and the safe door opened, it would alarm your phone. So really the opportunities for it are endless.
Quick question about that. This was years ago. We had some kind of an ADT motion sensor in the corner of another radio station I worked at, and it was designed so that if somebody was walking through the room, it would send a signal to the police or whatever, and they would see what's going on. A cockroach could crawl across that thing and set it off. It actually, Robin was the person who got the phone call. Actually, she went with her big dog one night, found the window was broken, and somebody did try to steal the computer out of a window, so they worked. But we also got calls where nothing's going on, and we kind of determined it was a roach or something. So
the motion detectors I used to actually do security systems, and they've come a long way with the motion detectors. For instance, pets at home. If you have a dog at home, motion detectors kind of, well, it's made to go anything above 3 feet. The ones I used anyway, they went above 3 feet, and they also used heat. They were infrared as well. So if they seen a warm body traveling across the room, then they would set it off. But as far as roaches and stuff like that, that was pretty rare.
Okay, so
you do get false alarms every once in a while.
And does that apply to this too? To the dry or the wet switch?
Well, the dry switch is just meaning dry contacts just means no voltage going through it. And yes, a lot of those switches, the window switches they use for door opening and closing, just the door chime that you have for your front door. It's basically a set of dry contacts that open and close.
Okay.
Any set of dry contacts like a ADT switch or security system switch can be wired right into this thermostat, so you can actually see if something's opening or closing or whatever that switch is controlling.
Yeah. And now the remote, the Wi-Fi part of this, do you have a lot of people subscribe subscribing to? How do you pay extra for
Well,
it? How does that work?
no, that's the great thing. It's an absolutely free service.
Really?
Your thermostat, if they've already got a Focus Pro thermostat, that's the models Focus Pro 5000 through the 8000.
Okay.
And literally the thermostats look identical to non-Wi-Fi thermostats. The installation is easy. The only other difference is we actually go to a computer and we search for the thermostat through your Wi-Fi network. So if you have a wireless router in your house, which most people do nowadays,
Right.
they've got the wireless network, you just hit the requirements for being able to have a Wi-Fi thermostat.
It's that easy, huh?
It's that easy.
All right, now, in the notes that you sent, and again, I hope I'm not just going in a direction you didn't want to go, but it was something about stat systems. Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, that's basically what we're talking about.
And what does stat stand for?
Well, thermostat. It's just short
Oh,
thermostat.
I thought it was like statistics or something.
Yeah,
Okay.
and as far as the saving money, these are issues where you can actually go in and control your system from another location rather than have it running at too cold or too warm and costing you more money than you need to spend.
Yeah. There was kind of an example on what's today, Thursday? On Tuesday, Galen Unold, who was from Life South, he called in every morning to give us, tell us what the Bloodmobile is going to be. He went with his children to Disney. It was not a family thing, it was a field trip with the school. So they were on one of those big buses.
Okay.
Well, when they came back at the end of the day, the bus had been sitting in the heat without the air conditioner on, and it was, like 100 degrees or something in there. Okay. So I could see that happening if you're out, like you say, a snowbird or something.
Yeah.
Okay, they're coming to Florida. It could be October, but it could be still 90 degrees out there,
Sure.
and 100 degrees in the house. So what? They get, within 20 miles or whatever, they go on their little Wi-Fi thing, turn it on, it'll be cool by the time they get there.
Sure, exactly. And I'm actually about to get one of these thermostats from my home, just because I raised my thermostat up to about 78, 79 while I'm not there, and I working outside all the time. I don't like to walk into a 79 degree home, so I'll raise it up before I get home, like an hour or two before. And it also you schedule, if you do already have a programmable thermostat, those programs are so specific. They're a certain schedule, and I know my schedule, as most other people's, always changes. You're late for work, you gotta pick up kids at school, you got soccer practice, whatever you're doing, it always changes. So
now, yeah, well, here's no, I never had one of those, but I've often thought when listening to it, gosh, it sounds like it's complicated. It sounds like it's hard. Yeah, I mean, you got to figure out what are you doing on Thursday? What are you doing on,
exactly.
So that's part of it, right? So this solves that problem because you're doing it on the fly. So
you can still have programming schedules. You can set your whole entire schedule right through the internet or your smartphone. You can set up daily schedules, weekend schedules. Say you're gone from 8 to 5.
That's true.
Then it runs at 80 degrees between 8 and 5. At 5 o'clock, the thermostat lowers down to 76 degrees. At night, you like it a little cooler, so at 10 o'clock, it lowers down to maybe 74 degrees. But the options are endless on what you can do with that. And there is a lot of thermostats that programmable thermostats have been around for a lot of years. This just makes it more accessible.
Now, is there like a study somewhere, or maybe a statistic that you know? It would have to be a ballpark figure, I'm sure, but it indicates how much money is actually saved when we utilize that kind of a device.
Well, actually, one specific thermostat is called the Nest thermostat, and it was actually developed by a man that used to work for Apple, and it actually looks like an Apple product.
Really?
It's very retro. It's a round thermostat and has a LCD digital display, and it's actually the only one that I know of out right now, and it's actually a learning thermostat. For the first 2 weeks of operation, it learns what your habits are. So every time you adjust it, it remembers that.
Wow.
And records it. And then after that, it's got motion sensors in it, so it knows when you're home, when you're not home. Yeah, and you can actually, that thermostat, actually, you can actually go on to your energy savings calculator and see energy savings on that stat. The stat will tell you if you're at an energy saving temperature at a specific time. So is one avenue you can go down. Other than that, just watching your electric bill, it's so hard to, because your air conditioning is not the only appliance using electricity. You got dryers, washers, dishwashers, lights. It's so hard to pinpoint which appliance is saving you money.
You know, I wish it was a device, and as soon as I said this, somebody's going to say there is a device. Maybe you'll tell me this is a device for the water heater. I often thought this about the water heater too. You can't turn it off when you're not there.
You can put timers on water heaters. I used to have a place with I put a timer on my water heater. That water heater shut off all day long. It ran for 2 hours in the morning and 2 hours at night, and it worked great.
Wow. See, I'm not that handy. What did you just buy, like a little clock?
It was basically like a sprinkler timer.
Really?
Just a line in, line out timer.
All right, let's go to the phone. Again, Brandon is here. Brandon Wood from Climate Control Mechanical Services. And if you want to speak to Brandon right now, the phone number is the WOCA Climate Control Source Hotline 622 WOCA. And at the end of the show, we'll give you the phone number so you can call Climate Control Mechanical Services. Good morning. You're on the air with Brandon.
Yes. Good morning, Brandon.
Good morning.
Say, if you're planning on leaving Florida, going north for, let's say, 6 weeks, 2 months, and so forth, and you're concerned about humidity buildup in your home, so you'd want to set your thermostat at a certain temperature to keep your humidity at a certain level. What would you say would be a safe humidity level in that home? Well, during the period while you would be gone, like you can say June and July, when it's very, very humid.
If you had an actual humidistat, which doesn't sound like you do, you would set it around 68%. If you want to just use your thermostat to keep the humidity down, you can set it between 80 and 82 degrees, and you should be fine with that.
What would you think the humidity would be at that temperature?
Probably around between 60 and 70%.
Okay, and that's a safe zone for a home?
Exactly. Any higher than that, and you start running the risk of mold buildup.
Yeah. You know, there are vacant homes in my subdivision here that have been vacant for oh my gosh, some of them for 4 or 5 years now, and I walk by them quite frequently when I walk my dogs, and never ever hear air conditioning running, and I don't know if I'd buy a home that's been sitting that long through all these summers with a humidity you certainly would want to have that inspected very closely for problems, you know.
Oh, absolutely. I've seen entire with very temperature specific, say, wood flooring.
Yeah.
I've seen entire wood floors buckle and be ruined from simply humidity.
Humidity.
Yeah. I had to fix an AC system last week that the painters, they couldn't even paint in there because the humidity levels were so high.
Yeah.
The paint wouldn't even dry. They had to wait till I was finished in order to start painting.
Yeah. Yeah. See, are there any air conditioners that are totally built in the United States? Not in Mexico or China or anywhere else.
Goodman actually advertises that they are all American made.
Yeah.
As far as some of the parts they use, I don't think there's any AC system out there where at least one or two of the parts inside the unit aren't mass produced over in China.
Yeah.
It is so hard to find anything that's all made in America, but Goodman gets pretty close to that.
You don't know what train would be if that's assembled here or not.
Train, I know, is assembled here.
Yeah.
But like I said, they use like their compressors. Most of the companies use what's called a Copeland compressor.
Yeah.
And they're developed for each carrier, like they're developed for Carrier, Train, Goodman.
Yeah.
And that is a U.S.-based company.
Okay.
But it all depends on where the parts come from, where they're ordering from. But yes, Train is absolutely assembled in the U.S.
Yeah. How is American Standard connected with Train, or are they both the same, or what's the deal on that?
Yes, they are. American Standard is actually a subsidiary of Train.
Oh, okay.
I don't believe American Standard is actually making new units anymore. I think it's all Train.
Okay.
But they used to have both Train and American Standard. It was kind of like Lexus and Toyota.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So you're not going to see the American Standard name anymore. It'll be just Train.
You may. I'm not positive on that, so don't quote me on that. But
yeah,
you may see the American Standard.
You consider them a pretty good unit?
Yes, I do. They're very good. They're made by Trains, so
yeah,
they're very good.
Just like you said, you can't stop a train.
Yeah, well, I've seen them stopped, but it's time. I've seen Trains stop.
Like anything else, I guess that's electrical or more, motors and that.
Exactly.
Okay. Oh yeah. Thank you very much. Nice talking to you.
You're welcome.
Bye now.
Thanks.
Well, and that's a good point. I mean, even the best manufactured issues, and
Absolutely.
and probably the best solution to that inevitability is the management agreement that you guys offer.
That's what we really try to. We don't want to push ourselves on it. We try not to sell you something you don't need. A lot of people, that's what they look at the maintenance agreement, and it's simply.
Yeah.
Yesterday, I went on a call. This gentleman was 5 pounds low on refrigerant. He has a leak in his system. Had he had a maintenance agreement, that's something we would have seen. It would have cost him less money in refrigerant, and his system has the older refrigerant R22. It's very expensive.
Oh wow!
So it cost him upwards of over $500.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it was expensive.
Wow!
And he just couldn't believe it. And I, apologized to him, but the simple fact is, when I walked away from that job, he had a service agreement. He ended up buying one with us. That way we were able to, every 6 months, check those refrigerant readings.
Is that a set price, or is that vary from system to system, the maintenance agreement?
For homeowners, for simple residential homes, and even light commercial, it's $169 a year.
Uh-huh.
For any additional system you have, it's $129 a year. Now that comes with all 15% off on parts. In most cases, if it's a mechanical issue, if we have to come out and service the unit for a failure, in most cases, the $75 diagnostic fee is waived. So they save a lot of money that way, as well as no overtime. Nights, weekends, holidays, any time, it's going to cost you the same to repair as it would, say, right now on a Thursday morning.
So go get a maintenance agreement.
Yeah, it helps.
Well, that is, of all the things we talk about, the one thing that always comes back to me is that I'm never going to do this or be able to do this on my own. I'm always going to need to call you guys, no matter what, whether it's a maintenance or a repair or an installation or anything.
Sure.
Or a change, even the thermostat you were talking about, obviously.
Some customers opt to change their own thermostats, but I wouldn't recommend it. I've gotten a lot of calls from the wife saying, yeah, my husband changed the thermostat and now our AC doesn't work.
See, that would be me. I'd be the guy who would mess that up. Yeah. Let me squeeze in one more call and then we'll get some phone numbers for climate control. Morning, you're on the air.
I had to call back against another question.
Morning.
On the maintenance agreement, if you have a pre-existing air conditioner, and let's say it's 5-6 years old, would you honor a maintenance agreement on a used unit like that?
Oh, absolutely. It's please understand it's not a warranty on the system.
Okay.
It's just simply now if it's only 5 or 6 years old, you may have a warranty on parts on the system, which we could honor. We honor any manufacturer's warranty. But the maintenance agreement is simply it's more of peace of mind with us, where you know your system is being checked out every single year, at least twice a year. And also on any new system installed, the manufacturers require it to be checked out at least once a year, so the warranty stays okay.
Usually speaking, how long does the warranty last, or do they honor on a compressor?
On any new systems sold today, it's 10 years.
10 years.
On your system, you might fall into the bracket where it was 5 years. I would have to actually see your system and run the model and serial number.
Yeah, I'll have to go out to look at the paperwork and then probably contact you for an agreement to keep it things up to par. I don't want to have a problem like you were just explaining there.
Exactly. It can save you a lot of money. It's like I said, it's more peace of mind than anything.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Brandon, what's the couple of phone numbers? Let's start with the website. Do you guys have a website?
Yes, we do.
And what is it?
It's climatecontrol.com.
Okay, I thought so. We have climatecontrolflorida.com. Is that one of them also?
Yes, that's. I'm sorry, climate control.
Oh, that is the whole. Okay, that is the whole one. Okay. And what's your phone number?
Our office number is 352-291-0185.
Okay. Brandon, thank you so much for educating us on this. And like I started to say, this is why I love these conversations, because it reminds me how little I actually know.
That's the most important part, is education. There's so many things that people just don't know out there. They out of sight, out of mind.
Well, we have a specialized world too. I mean, we need specialized people who are educated like you on the things we don't know to help us with the things we need.
Oh, absolutely.
This is a need for sure, especially now. Starting to feel it, right?
Yes, we got busy the past couple
of weeks.
Everybody's turning on their AC for the first time this year, and things are breaking, things are not working right. So we are definitely busy with no AC calls.
So, and that $500 lesson that man learned is a lesson for all of us. So $169 versus 500. I think I'll take the 169.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Brendan.
You're welcome.
We will take a little break. Call us if you need Brandon's information repeated over the phone. We'll be glad to do that for you. We'll take a break and be right back.
Ocala's information station, 1370 WOCA.
ABC News Now. I'm Karen Chase.